just thought I would leave a shorter message because the other one's so long. And you might not want to watch that whole thing, although you might want to. So I just thought I would see if I could make a little shorter night-night video and not do what I'm calling like peaceful politics, and maybe just a night-night message affirming your fabulousness, our fabulousness. I keep covering this zit because it's just so ugly, and I keep picking at it, so I'm covering it so you don't have to look at it. But this one's healing. This one's healing. So I really don't mind, but I just don't want you to have to look at something that's all, cranky. And I just pick. Yeah, maybe I'll start the video over. I don't know. Should I leave that? I think I'll leave it. Why not, right? It's real. It's life. Yeah. How many of you have zits and things you pick at? Yeah. So we do that when we're not really centered with ourselves. I've had that habit since I was little, dealing with stress. Picked every scab that I had since I was little, because I played in the woods growing up when I was little, and I had scabs all over my legs because I just lived in the woods and ran in the woods and climbed trees, and then I would sit in the backyard or sit wherever I was. I'd come home and then I'd pick at my skin. We all have different ways of handling stress and things, and so and that's why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this because it's really why I do the career that I have, composing what I call celestial mystical opera. And I write books that are inspirational and poetic and from my soul, from my spirit, from, again, whatever my is, the inspiration that moves through me, this particular incarnation, this particular body and form. There's how many billions of people have existed. I'm sure somebody's added it up. We don't really know past a certain point in history, but excuse me. But I think we probably have an idea for the past 3,000 years how many humans have lived. What do we have? 7.5. I like to say we've got 8 billion too many. Most people don't get it. little naughty. So, yeah, the reason why I do what I do is because, human suffering, my own included. Myself as a human, myself as a personality, myself as a, the words kind of, so, yeah, I'm doing this because me as a little child, and maybe you too, maybe not, I don't know. I certainly needed, and I'm sure, on a certain level, the soul, the spirit, consciousness. Lord, we get, this is when words, how we define words. We get into, I just have furry things here. We get into semantic situations. So, there's a part of us that is never damaged, that is never traumatized, that's never hurt, harmed. It's the eternal part. It is our timeless self that can never be killed. And it can't be maimed or raped or tortured. It never, it doesn't, yeah, see the words. It's not that it doesn't stick, it just isn't of it. It's not of this world, and yet it's our true nature. It's our true selves. That is our true selves. That unharmable beingness, consciousness, awareness, witness. That is really, it is absolute stillness, and it's perpetual joy, and we connect with it when we feel childlike, and when we feel truly, deeply, profoundly happy, like light as a feather. The heart, joy is light as a feather. It's weightless when we feel weightless. When we feel so in love that it taps into our eternal self, and we become aware, experiencing, which we, the human personality, the denser consciousness that we can, and there's infinite denseness, going all the way down to infinite evil. Evil doesn't end, by the way. There's no bottom to darkness. There isn't. Just like heaven, what some people call heaven, what some people call beauty, love, God, spirit, and all the many names of, avatars. I'm not promoting any religion. I'm just saying, you can't fault people for having different words for the same thing. I don't know why people like to fault people. And the funny thing is people use that same word, for instance, in one language to mean very different things. One religion may talk about God, and, you put two people next to each other and you're like, I'll hang out with that person that uses the word God, but boy, I'm not going to hang out with that other person using that same word. So words are not the problem. There's certainly, it's important how we use language. Words are powerful. Language is powerful, as I talked about in my previous video, the Night Night video 3, Magic 3, Night Night Magic 3. By the way, do you like my title? I'm also kind of commingling titling this Peaceful Politics, because I really should be just sending night-night sweet little messages, but I always end up talking about things that I think are really important to our, we're craving meaning, and craving connection, but also craving meaning, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. And what meaning do we put on the insanity, our own suffering, and the immense exponentialized unending suffering that we see in the world and that we feel hopeless and helpless about affecting positively, right? So I'm going to get quiet again because that's what I want to, I want to stick to this sacred, subtle vibration, peaceful politics, because I think it's really needed. I think it's really important to connect with this inside of ourselves. And we don't get that model. And I want to help provide a model for myself and all of us, anyone who wants it, right? So, yeah. And as I do that and reconnect and remember to come back to myself, and when I start to get in my head and not connected to the vibration that is my intention, you can watch, you're a witness, you're witnessing me reconnecting, and that will inspire you. Of course, you know how to do that, but it's just nice to see it, see someone consciously covering up their zits, because it's a bit distracting just visually, just that by itself. Otherwise, I really wouldn't mind, but if I didn't cover it up, you'd be staring at it, because our eyes are drawn to color, and it, you get used to that one because it's not too bad. This one is distracting because it's quite red. So, because I picked the scab off. Yes, I did that. Poor little kitty, poor little Sarita, pobrecita. So, I'm working on not doing that, but sometimes I just can't help it. And that's why this is red, because I just pulled the scab off. I wasn't quiet like this, calm, and, I was worried, or, thinking. I was thinking without relaxing and being. Because we can be an instrument of thought. Thought can move through us without obsessing us and without possessing us. Right? That's really what the difference is. Possession. When we're hijacked by our mind, by our thoughts, rather than them freely moving and freely flowing. And there's a lightness in our being. It's a very, very simple way to determine what's going on with ourselves. And, well, not so simple, but, it is, but it's still a process. It's still an unraveling. And that process is, do we feel light or heavy? And it isn't that heavy is bad. It just is to notice. And when it's heavy, there's either something to let go of, or there's something to process and let go of, right? Lightness is indicative of truth and joy. Joy is our greatest barometer. Well, that's not exactly the right word. Greatest, well, you could say barometer for sure, but more joy. Think about it. Think about when you last felt joy. Maybe you feel joy right now. Maybe you felt joy earlier, today or another day. Joy is really powerful. It's so pure. It's the purest state. Elation. It's different from elation, but when grace is happening. And so it's a guide, But the thing about our humanity is we have highs and lows, ins and outs, ups and downs, roundabouts, left and rights, yes and no's, love and hate, good and bad. I like to say +1 and -1. That's what it's duality. So that's what we're doing down here, even though there's no real direction, but we say God is up, Creator is up, right? Kuan Yin is up. But, there's really no up. But for some reason, I don't know if that's universal. I don't know if you went in a Amazon rainforest to people that have never met barbaric people living in cities. Because who's the real barbarians, right? Certainly not those people that have lived like that for thousands of years and haven't destroyed the planet like we have in 100 years. 80% of all creatures are extinct because of us. Half of the plants are gone because of us. And so, that's why I'm making this video. Because we need to connect. You can call it your higher self, with divine wisdom, with God's plan, with the peaceful warrior within, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you call it, right? Mae West. I don't care what you call me, as long as you call me. My dad always said that. He would quote her, and I would feel such shame. Oh my gosh, I would feel so ashamed. Because for some reason, I knew that she was a bawdy woman. Of course, I didn't know that word, but she was, there was something sexual about her. I think I did know because I used to watch the black and white cartoons of her, and I loved, my favorite, and I always forget his name for some reason. I loved him, I adored him. He was the same, W.C. Fields. Oh, I loved him. He was literally my favorite soul. He was just so vulnerable. Oh my God, his humor. What a tender creature. Oh, I loved him. And I love him now. Oh my goodness. They were just, these people back then, they were just so vulnerable. And I just related to them. I just longed. Artists, people that expose their hearts so that we can witness them through their humor, the music, writing, poetry, And you might have very vulnerable scientists and mathematicians as well, but, in general, artists really wear their heart on their sleeve, right? Empaths, right? You have to be an empath. Nobody's going to watch a musician who's not an empath. That's why we watch them, right? That's why we watch an actor. That's why they're paid billions of dollars collectively, all these theater people, because we want to see vulnerability. We want to witness empathy. We want to feel it. That's what we're paying $12 to go to the movie theater. $20,000, $100,000 to go see, what is it? Hamilton. Those that have that capacity, or Fellini, I studied with his best friend, and when I lived in Rome, and Roberto Urano, and he told me that they would go into the movie theater when they were little, and they would just walk in and they'd pay a nickel, and they'd stay there all day, literally, like all day, like nobody cared where they were, their mom, not that they didn't care, but they didn't worry, their moms, and they'd stay there all day watching films, people expressing themselves, people feeling things, right? It's not just a tale. It's not just a story. That's sharper. It's feeling. And it's not just any feeling. It's not somebody, it's not a fake feeling, or it's not a manufactured, whatever the words are. It's empathy. It's somebody suffering, going through trials and tribulations, elations, journeying through life, the journey of life, meeting people, meeting oneself through the eyes of another. And loving, hating, being frightened, expectation, disappointment, and then resolution, fulfillment, If it's a comedy, if it's a romance, it's a resolution and a fulfillment. We went along the journey with them, right? We went along the story, their experience. Should I just let it hang out? Oh man, it's just so bad. It's just, and then the zit is still under there. And I just keep trying to pop it, and it won't pop because it's just not ready. And then I try to make it anyway, and it's not ready. Squeezing it. Sorry. Sorry, little self. Sorry, little skin. Be nice. Be nice to myself. Kitty. Be nice. Yeah. I don't know how people, that have chronic acne. Like I see teenagers sometimes have chronic acne. And I'm like, can I just pop that for you? Please. Please, all of them. I don't know how they stand it. It's just the pain of the pressure. I'm getting loud again. The pain of the pressure. I just want to. I've done that. I've picked people's skin, cleaned their skin like a monkey. I wanted to be an esthetician. And I used to cut hair. I used to love hair and skin. I still love nurturing people, and I do body work. And so, and I used to do people's hair, braid them. I love to braid men's hair that had long hair. I used to love that because I never saw men with braids, and I just used to love to do that. Now you see all kinds of things, and you see beards, which is so wonderful. I always loved beards. Hair, Fuzzy. Kiki. Fuzzy, right? It's like all this sort of sanitizing. Short hair for men. Deodorant. Oh, please don't wear that stuff. Please. So toxic. Read the ingredients yourself and look them up. Look the words up. Cancer rates. Oh my God. Get something at the health food store. Get some, look it up. Okay. Just a little tip. A tip from the Zit Girl. I need my own tips. Yeah. Zits are trickier. Trickier than deodorant. I never worn deodorant in my life. I never had to. I didn't believe in it. I think people should smell. Not bad, but, I'm a vegetarian. I have been since I was little. couldn't eat the meat on the table. I could see that it had been abused. I could not eat it. I was in Central America studying photography, and I was on a photography scholarship. And we were in a place where there was literally nothing to eat. There was like nothing growing. It's the desert, and we were on the ocean, and it was like fish or nothing, fish or famine. So I was like, well, I'm going to catch the fish, kill the fish, cook the fish, if I'm going to eat the fish. And so I did. I did not want someone else to be responsible for the pain and suffering of that creature if I was going to eat it. And I wanted to do, I already said it. So, I mean, if you eat meat, do you know where it comes from? Do you know what that animal endured in order to come to your plate? Oh my God. Do you know? Oh my God. The suffering? Wow. A lot of suffering in the meat industry. Okay, if you've got a farm in your neck of the woods, or if you know at your health food store, this farm that your food comes from, your meat rather. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's animal. That animal is not enduring just. I can't even say the words right now, but look into it. Look into it. It's affecting. I believe that what we eat, and the consciousness and the hormones that it's pulsing through its body before it dies ends up in us. So if you're eating something that's just raging with fear, panic, terror, rage at being oppressed and caged, hopeless, oh my God, those are hormones, and you're eating them. Yep, you're eating those hormones. It's become you. It's becoming you. I don't know what happens to hormones when you cook food. I don't know that. You can look it up. Certainly the vibration is there, So I have to. So anyway, just couldn't help myself going down that road. Not that I help myself, but this is peaceful politics. That's the politics of our life, of our humanity. This is why I'm doing this. To help people have the, and to be graceful in these deep things that are painful to talk about. It can be so confrontational. We don't need that. Oh my gosh. It's just so sad that people feel the need to yell at one another. I mean, sometimes, yelling, it's just part of our toolbox. And so it's not like shame on yelling. I'm not saying that at all. Yelling is very important as part of our, we usually yell when we don't, when we don't feel heard. Yeah, that's why. And when we feel frustrated and in pain and scared, instead of going right to the vulnerable place. And when we don't feel safe to feel vulnerable, we jump to, expressing anger. It's part of the 7 stages of grief. But what's at the 7th stage? Or what's at the root cause of the whole stages? It's grief. Okay? So be aware of your sadness, okay? Explore. And maybe you're super empathetic and you're really aware of your sorrow, your grief. So good on you. Obviously, it's kind of just a funny thing just to say. Just don't mean it to be flippant, because I feel that sorrow all the time, every day, and I always have since I was a child. I have felt the sorrow of the world's pain. Of course, I didn't know all of it, but I felt things beyond what was in front of me, and I felt what was in front of me. Which doesn't make me like some better, worse person, like that I'm perfect at all. But it means I'm a feeler, and some people avoid I prefer to be vulnerable. It's not that I don't put up my own walls sometimes, to try to protect myself when I haven't worked through my own trauma and my own pain, and when I don't have the tools to communicate. I mean, life is for all of us. We're all, right? We're all unraveling ourselves. We're all doing this sort of unending raveling game, discovering how to communicate who we are, what are our words, what do we feel? Well, what's under that feeling? What's under that feeling? What's under that thought? Under that, what's behind that door? The door number 3. Who are we? Why are we? Why do we feel the way we do? Do we even know? Do we have to know? Can we be loving? Can we be loving without knowing the sources of all our pain? I mean, that excavation is pretty endless. I mean, I have worked hard to unravel my own pain. And at the same time, we are connected to this timeless, eternal consciousness. And so that's when you go to my website, sarahwestlove.com. That's, that what you find there, my recordings, my books, my CDs, my MP3s right now. I'm just not able to mail things out really right now. So my MP3s, which I really recommend buying them right on my website. Well, yeah, please support me. I'd be so grateful and honored, and for you to share my soul, what comes out of me through the depths of my vulnerability, and what gifts God gave me, Creator gave me, whatever word you want to use, that come through in my most vulnerable self. My writings, the writings come through this vehicle that I am, through my pen, my fingers, my heart, my mind, my soul, my spirit, my body. So yeah, please go there. Don't go to iTunes, as I put in the description below. You can read that. You can click on the link, sarahwestlove.com, Sarah with an H. Because there are people selling my music illegally, with my name on it and their names on it. So, and I don't think anything is there by Sarah West Love anyway. It's my former name. I go by Sarah West Love now. But I do have things with Sarah West there. And there's also other Sarah Wests out there that aren't me. So, I wanted to, I've always wanted to, even when I was little, I used to change my name. I couldn't relate to it. So we'll talk about that another time. But yeah. Oh, coming back to the center. Coming back to being simplicity. Yes. So it's a delight. I'm delighted. Thank you Thank you for being with me and sharing with me, listening, unraveling, unfurling, communing. If I didn't know you were listening, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be, you're not listening yet, but I know that you will. It's like the time has collapsed and it's happening now. Because I feel you now. I'm speaking to you now. Like you are listening right now, right? That's what's so fascinating. Remember that. Remember time, space. What is it? Is it real? We get so caught up in it. But look at all the instances that disappears, like right now. So I love you. I'm grateful for you. Each of you. Even if you don't like this, or even, whether you like me or you don't like me, I'm still grateful. Because we're all connected, There's only one of us here. And the whole dance of hate it's not real. We can buy into it, I certainly have. It's an interesting exploration. I don't recommend it. But if you want to explore humanity, sure, that's what I did. Explored humanity. The highs and lows, right? Or not, right? But love is just... I really wanted to understand why people hated. What it felt like, what it was, what motivates people to feel it, all the excuses one makes, justifications. Really what births it, and then what keeps it going, what feeds it, and how you get out of it. That's a whole nother ball of wax, literally. Not literally, but it's a fun thing to say. Literally. Oh my God, just totally, literally, a lot, so. All right, my friends. Oh my God, too funny. So thank you. Send me a note, like and subscribe, share. Yeah, copy, paste, send it, text it to your friends. Send me a comment. Oh, go to my website, sarahwestlove.com, and you can post a note on my contact page if you're not like a Google, YouTube, subscriber person. I'd love to hear your thoughts right on my website. It's private and it just goes directly to me. So you can say anything you like. Be kind if you like, If you don't, well, I can learn from that. Or choose to,